April 3rd, 2024, 4:18 p.m., Manchester, England. May Holloway hadn't even unpacked the kitchen knives when she found the first bag. She was just reaching to shove a stack of frozen peas into the corner of the freezer when her hand bumped into something solid. It wasn't ice or packaging. It was soft plastic, warm to the touch. Ziploc, yellow label, faded handwriting. Mine. She pulled it out. It was cloudy with condensation, obscuring whatever was inside. When she unzipped it and peered in, she dropped it immediately. Inside were teeth, human teeth, dozens of them. Baby teeth, molars, a few jagged incisors. All shades of yellow and gray. Some still had dried blood on the root. The rental. May had only moved in 2 days ago. A one-bedroom basement flat just outside Manchester. Private, affordable, and mostly quiet. The landlord had offered her a month free if she took over immediately. Previous tenant left early, he'd said on the phone. Didn't want to deal with the clean-out. You'll probably find some stuff in the fridge. Toss what you like. He hadn't mentioned this. Her first call. May reported it to the non-emergency line. She didn't expect them to send someone. Just wanted it documented. But the woman on the other end seemed oddly unshocked. You said teeth? Yes. In a labeled bag? Yeah. It said mine. A pause. Okay, miss. We'll log that. Unless it's part of an active crime scene, it's likely a medical discard. People store all sorts of things. You can dispose of it safely or turn it in. Is this a common? Not common, but not illegal either. Strange. Not criminal. The disposal attempt. May bagged the teeth again. Double-layered. She drove them to a local waste site that accepted biohazards. They refused to take it. We don't process teeth unless it's clinical. This came from someone's mouth. Yeah. But did you extract them? No. Then you can't dump them here. May finally left the bag in a public bin across town, wrapped in newspaper. She didn't want it anywhere near her. That night, 3:14 a.m., she awoke with a metallic taste in her mouth. Blood. She ran to the bathroom mirror. A tooth was missing. Bottom row. Left canine. No pain. No blood in the socket. Just gone. Like it had never been there. She checked the freezer on instinct. There was the Ziploc bag. On the shelf. Right where it had been before. Now labeled. Mine. 33. Inside her missing tooth. She ran to the bin where she'd discarded it. Empty. A call to the landlord. May demanded answers. Did the last tenant leave anything else here? The landlord, Mr. Gray, sounded tired. Defensive. Look, love. It's a rental. People leave weird stuff. Sometimes they hoard. Sometimes it's medical. Just clean it out. I gave you a month free. What happened to the last tenant? Pause. She moved out. That's all I know. Did she say why? Said the place didn't feel like hers anymore. The second bag appears. April 5th, 7:12 a.m. May opens the freezer to get breakfast. Next to the first bag, a second one. This one's labeled differently. 33. Returned. Inside, the tooth she lost. Perfectly clean. Polished. As if freshly extracted and restored. It doesn't feel cold. Feels warm. May's research. She starts digging into dental horror stories, medical oddities. Nothing matches her case. Except one obscure post on an abandoned forum dated 2011. Teeth showed up in freezer. Not mine at first. Then started matching. Don't throw them away. That's when it starts to hurt. Another. Check your molars. Even the ones you haven't lost yet. May closes the laptop. Her gums throb. A visit to the dentist. May schedules an emergency appointment. She tells the dentist she thinks she's grinding at night. They x-ray her jaw. Odd. The dentist says, you've got extra teeth forming. Like wisdom teeth? No, these are anterior. Almost like a second row. May asks if it's dangerous. He just says, let's monitor it. He hands her the film. She swears one of the new teeth looks cracked. Like it's already broken from use. The note on the mirror. That night, She finds a post-it on her bathroom mirror. It's not her handwriting. Don't take what's not yours. The freezer now contains 3 bags, all labeled 33. One contains a molar she hasn't lost yet, but now it feels loose in her mouth. Closing scene, April 5th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. May dreams of her mouth opening, but not by her will. Fingers reach into it, gently removing teeth, placing them in plastic. In the dream, someone whispers, "If you put them back in the right order, you can remember who they belong to." She wakes to find the freezer door open, and a 4th bag labeled, "Before you." May discovers the number on the bag isn't just an inventory, it might be a reference to her. But she doesn't remember ever losing that many teeth. Until the dreams start showing her lives she doesn't remember living. April 6th, 2024, 9:38 a.m. Manchester, England. May Holloway stood in front of the freezer with a notebook in hand. She had to make sense of it. There were now 4 bags, each labeled 33 in some way. 1. Mine. 2. 33. 3. 33 returned. 4. Before you. Same kind of handwriting. Sharp, slanted, heavy pressure. The number 33 was the constant. A label. A code. Or something worse, a count. May had never counted her teeth before. She ran to the bathroom and checked again in the mirror. You're supposed to have 32. She had 33. 1 extra molar. Back left. Jagged. Slightly gray. Not painful. Just wrong. Online deep dive. They started searching dental anomalies. Supernumerary teeth weren't unheard of. A rare condition, a hyperdontia. But usually the extras were tiny or malformed. Buried. Hers was functional. Fully grown. And she'd never noticed it before. Forum after forum yielded nothing helpful until she hit a thread titled, "The 33rd Tooth." The first post read, "If it emerges, don't ignore it. It belongs to someone else." Flash memory. She held her jaw that afternoon, feeling pressure where that extra tooth sat. A sharp image struck her brain. A different bathroom. A cracked mirror. Someone, not her, standing in it. But she could feel the person's teeth. Like a ghost memory. Then a name whispered from nowhere. Joe. Joe Mason. She didn't know a Joe, but her mouth ached like she was remembering someone else's pain. Dentist visit number 2. She walked in without an appointment. "I think there's something growing." The dentist looked confused. "You were just here. It wasn't like this." The x-ray showed 2 new teeth forming. One slightly hooked, one missing enamel altogether. May asked again, "Could these be someone else's?" The dentist smiled. "Well, unless you're eating them, no." The freezer grows active. That evening, the freezer hummed louder than normal. May opened it. The 4th bag had shifted. Its label now read, "Before you, Joe Mason, 1997. May's hands shook. Inside the bag, 4 teeth. 1 molar with a silver filling. She hadn't seen silver in dentistry in years. Tucked behind the bag was a photo, water-damaged but visible. A girl in her late teens, smiling awkwardly. May didn't recognize her face, but her own teeth ached when she looked at the photo. Old news. She searched local obituaries and missing persons. Joe Mason turned up once, age 17, disappeared in June 1997. Last seen at a party 5 blocks from May's current flat. No body. No suspects. Just one sentence in the article that stood out. Parents claim she left behind only her dental retainer and a single red sneaker. Another dream. This one was clearer. She was standing in a small, tiled bathroom, unfamiliar, outdated, wallpaper peeling. She looked in the mirror. Her face was her own, mostly. But the mouth wasn't. She opened it and saw gaps. Gums raw. Teeth misaligned. Some loose, some missing. And 1 molar at the back that looked just like the new one in her real mouth. A voice, her own but echoing, said, "You can carry more than 1 life if you make space." The freezer opens itself. At 3:14 a.m., the door creaked. May stood in the hallway watching. It opened slowly. A 5th bag was inside. This one had no label. Inside, a single canine tooth. Sharp. Wider than the others. Attached, a short note. "You bit down first." Joe's file appears. The next morning, May found a manila folder on her kitchen counter. She didn't place it there. Inside, printouts. Typed, as if from an old typewriter. Top of the page? Subject number 33, Joe Mason. It listed height, blood type, tooth extraction schedule, incomplete. Transition window failed. Receptive host not found. Stamped at the bottom. Return initiated. May flip the page over. The back simply read. The mouth remembers. She tries pulling the tooth. That night, she stands in the mirror with a pair of tweezers and a numbing agent. The 33rd tooth, the gray one, throbs almost aware. She grips it, tugs. Blood fills her mouth, but it doesn't come out. Instead, her vision splits. The mirror shows her, but also Joe, standing behind her, smiling with too many teeth, whispering, "I need somewhere to stay." Closing scene, April 6, 2024, 3:14 a.m. May jerks awake in bed. Her mouth is dry. She touches her lips, something is in her mouth. She runs to the mirror. Another tooth. 34. Perfect. Familiar. She opens the freezer. Bag 6 is already there. Labeled. Mine, keep going. May realizes the freezer is collecting teeth not just from her, but from others who vanished. The more she resists, the more her own body begins to change. And Joe Mason might not be the only one waiting to return. April 7, 2024, 6:32 a.m., Manchester, England. May Holloway had 34 teeth. She confirmed it by touch, by tongue, by staring into the mirror until her eyes blurred. You're supposed to have 32. Not anymore. The new ones weren't pushing others out, they were fitting around them, forcing her jaw slightly wider. Just enough to ache when she smiled. The freezer's inventory. 6 bags now. Each perfectly sealed. Each labeled. Each holding teeth that didn't quite belong to her. She laid them on the kitchen table and made a list. 1. Mine, her own canine. 2. 33 unlabeled molars. 3. 33 returned, her original tooth cleaned. 4. Before you, Joe Mason, 1997. 5. Unlabeled single sharp white canine. 6. Mine, keep going. She realized something, the bags weren't just passive. They were directives. Prompts. Warnings. Commands. She visits the library. Not Google. Not forums. May needed paper. Newsprint. Records that hadn't been digitized or rewritten. She asked for local disappearance records from 1990 to 2010. Joe Mason was listed. So were others. 2 stood out. Kyle Worth, 1994, 19, went missing after complaining of dental pain. Mira Alves, 2001, reported strange mouth dreams before vanishing. The patterns were subtle, but each had mentioned teeth in some form. One article mentioned Joe's mother claiming. She kept saying the freezer didn't like being empty. May calls the number on Joe's file. It rings. To her surprise, someone answers. A woman. Older. Voice shaky. Hello? Is this Mrs. Mason? Silence. Who is this? I found your daughter's name. In a freezer. I don't know how to explain it. Click. A text comes through 5 minutes later. Don't take more than 33. That's how Joe got stuck. New growth. May feels pressure in her lower jaw all day. Not pain presence. She checks the mirror after dinner. A new tooth has appeared. It's growing from the inside of her gum line. At an angle. Not a human angle. She gags. But it's real. Another dream. She stands in a long hallway. Doors on either side. Each labeled with numbers but not sequentially. 21. 22. 23. 33. 34. 35. She reaches for 34. Inside herself. But a different version. Smiling too wide. Voice layered with whispers. We were all hungry. You're just the first to open the door in a while. May wakes biting her own tongue. Bag number 7 appears. In the freezer. No sound. No warning. Label. Kyle, 1994, debt paid. Inside, 2 molars and a yellowed baby tooth. A sticky note attached. He made it to 34. Then he started talking in his sleep. Things we'd never said. Her voice isn't always hers now. At 3:14 p.m., May leaves a voicemail for her sister. It plays back differently. Hey, it's me. Just checking in. I'm fine. Teeth are doing well. Mouth's making space. I'll be someone you recognize soon. She doesn't remember saying any of that. Her sister texts back. Weird message. You okay? May types yes with trembling fingers. The return tooth. That night, she opens bag number 3 again, returned. The tooth inside is gone. In its place, a small note folded into a spiral. Return is not removal. Return is replacement. Under it, another image. Joe Mason's dental chart, written in faded ink beneath the diagram. Currently housed in subject number 33. May tries to speak to Joe. In the mirror, she focuses. Breathes slow. Opens her mouth. Whispers. Joe, are you in here? For a moment, nothing. Then the reflection smirks. Her lips do not move. But the voice comes from her throat. There's more than one of us. But we remember through the same teeth. The freezer door cracks. April 7th, 3:14 a.m. The freezer opens on its own halfway. Cold air rolls out. Inside. Bag number 8. Label. May intake accepted. She opens it. Empty. Except for a mirror shard. Her own reflection grins too early. Then mouths silently. Keep chewing. Closing scene, April 7th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. May sits on the kitchen floor, flashlight in hand. Her mouth open wide. Breathing shallow. The sound of clicking teeth echoes around the room, but she's not biting down. From the freezer, a voice whispers in stereo. The mouth remembers, but the body will forget. Unless you bite back. May discovers she isn't just a victim, she may be part of an experiment or a long-standing ritual. The teeth carry memory, identity, and something else, the ability to overwrite a person one bite at a time. April 8th, 2024, 9:02 a.m., Manchester, England. May Holloway woke up gagging on something hard. It rolled across her tongue, knocking against her molars. She spat it out into her palm. A tooth. Her own. But not from her mouth. It was too small. Too white. Rootless. She examined it, trembling. It wasn't hers. Not yet. The freezer now counts. Bag number 9 had arrived overnight. The label read, Subject number 33, intake level 1133. A second line had been scribbled underneath. She's almost ready. May checked each tooth in the bag. 11 in total. Some baby-sized, some adult. One looked too large to belong to a human at all. When she touched it, she heard something deep in her ears. A scratching. Or chewing. What is subject number 33? May remembered the manila folder labeled subject number 33, J.O. Mason. Now, the freezer had relabeled her. She Googled subject number 33 again. Nothing direct. But in the dark web archives of a dental medicine forum, she found one cryptic PDF. Unlicensed study, prosthetic transference through oral architecture. Recollection of non-subjective experience may be encoded within calcium matter, particularly if subject's mouth is used as a vessel for transpersonal anchoring. The 33rd tooth represents breach potential. May slammed the laptop shut. Transpersonal anchoring? Breach potential? Her journal changes. May had started keeping a handwritten journal. That morning, she noticed entries in a second handwriting. Messier rushed. Entries she never wrote. He bit down on the wrong word and started speaking things we didn't bury properly. If I get to 33, I'll be someone they can't evict. The freezer likes when you forget who chewed first. Dental x-rays again. She goes back to the dentist. New assistant. Same office. They take fresh images. The dentist furrows his brow. You've got more shadows forming. Shadows? Not teeth exactly. Not yet. They're like impressions. Negative space waiting to fill. He leans closer. And your third molar on the left is splitting. May leans forward. What does that mean? It's like it's trying to be two teeth. Bag number 10 appears. Label. Kyle, last entry, do not refreeze. Inside, a single canine. Cracked. Burnt at the root. Taped to it is a photograph. A freezer, just like May's. Wide open. Empty. Caption. He ran out of space. May tries to purge. She grabs pliers. Goes to the bathroom. Grips one of the new teeth in her jaw, the 34th. Tugs. But her reflection moves differently than she does. Smiling. Encouraging. Her own arm slackens against her will. A voice from inside her throat says, You'll crack the wrong memory. Then what will you be? May vomits in the sink. A tooth drops out. One she doesn't recognize. The teeth want a sequence. In her notebook, she maps it. Joe Mason equals subject number 33. May Holloway equals new subject number 33. Kyleworth equals attempted 34. Mira Alves equals mentioned extra chewing before vanishing. She writes down each bag number. Tries to match teeth to disappearances. The connections are loose. Until she looks at bag number 6 again. Mine, keep going. Inside, the tooth has changed shape. It's hers now. The transformation is complete. The whispering begins. April 8th, 3:14 a.m. The freezer doesn't open. It speaks. Not loudly. Just faint buzzing, words spelled in teeth grit and hum. She was never trying to come back. She was trying to become something you'd feed. May turns on every light. Her mouth throbs. The extra molars ache like growing bones. A new file appears. She wakes to a USB drive on her pillow. Plugged in, one folder. Titled VoicePrint_33_MA. Audio file plays, May speaking in her sleep. You can't stop it. It's the right number now. You're the last subject. It'll freeze me in you. Closing scene, April 8th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. May sits with the freezer open. All bags displayed on the floor like trophies. She places her own cracked tooth into a new Ziploc. Labels it. 33, I am still in here. But before she seals it, the tooth dissolves. May is no longer just housing memories, she's becoming a vessel for multiple presences overwritten by teeth that don't belong. She's starting to speak in voices she doesn't remember having, and the freezer is almost full. April 9th, 2024, 8:41 a.m., Manchester, England. May Holloway didn't recognize her own bite anymore. Her toothbrush scraped over unfamiliar shapes, longer, flatter, sharper ridges. She avoided mirrors now. Her jaw clicked when she smiled. Her tongue caught on edges it had never learned to navigate. And her freezer whispered. Bag number 11 appears. Label. Intake stalled, retrieve excess memory. Inside, 3 teeth. All small. All cracked. One had a tiny engraving on the root. May cleaned it with shaking hands. The mark, M.A. Her initials. The dreams intensify. That night, she's in a hallway again. This time the doors are wider, breathing. She passes doors marked 31, 32, 33. Then arrives at 34, sealed with wax. The handle frozen solid. But she's holding a key. Before she can touch the door, someone whispers behind her. Once you open that, the mouth won't be yours again. She turns. It's Joe Mason or something wearing her face. But the eyes are May's. Waking confusion. May finds herself in the living room. Laptop open. Audio recording running. She replays the last entry. Her voice, but layered. Low, like underwater. Subject 33 achieved near symmetry. Jaw unlocked. Spinal echo detected. Retaining fragments of subject 31. Approaching breach. She doesn't remember saying any of it. But the timestamp says 3:14 a.m. Again, the teeth are multiplying. She opens the freezer. Not one, but 3 new bags have appeared. Bags number 12, number 13, number 14. All labeled. Transfer, incomplete. Overwrite in progress. 34, final host. Inside each, an increasing number of teeth. Not just human. Some are too long. Some curve unnaturally. She opens one and hears whispering inside her ears, though no sound escapes the bag. A message from the mirror. April 9th, 12:02 p.m. May catches herself mouthing something in the mirror. She leans closer. Her reflection writes it in condensation across the glass. Your brain will adapt to the bites. Then, below it, the body is just a translator. Online obscurity. May returns to the old forum where she found the 33rd tooth thread. It's been deleted. All that remains is a single cached image. A human jaw, but with 2 full rows of teeth overlapping. Caption. Subject 34, language breach detected. Below it, a user comment. He started speaking words that didn't exist. But everyone who heard them remembered them perfectly. May tests her voice. She speaks into a recording app. The words she says are simple. I am May. I am in control. I am not Joe. Playback begins. It doesn't match. Her voice speaks in a rhythm she never used. Joe is entry. Kyle is exit. May is mouth. The teeth only needed time. The freezer sends a warning. That evening, she finds a new post-it on the door. Different handwriting. Shaky. Almost childlike. When the freezer closes on its own, you're no longer inside. She slams it shut. But it opens 30 minutes later. Without sound. Bag number 15 rests inside. Label. 33 of 33, welcome back. Inside, a full adult incisor. Polished. Shining. Warm. As she touches it, her gums ache, in perfect sync with the shape. Final confirmation. May opens her mouth wide. Photographs it. Compares it to earlier images. She now has 35 teeth. And no memory of losing any. Closing scene, April 9th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. May records herself in the dark. She whispers. Who am I speaking for? Her voice answers, but not her. From the playback, clear and calm. We needed one who wouldn't bite back. Then the recording ends with the sound of a freezer door slamming shut. May is becoming the archive, a vessel for all the failed or forgotten subjects before her. She's not just growing teeth, she's growing languages, thoughts, and intentions that don't belong to her. The breach is almost complete. April 10th, 2024, 5:56 a.m., Manchester, England. May Holloway hadn't spoken out loud in 16 hours. She was afraid to hear her own voice. The last time she did, it wasn't hers. Not fully. Not anymore. And her mouth, it didn't feel like a mouth. It felt like a library of something waiting to be read. Inventory, 35. She now had 35 teeth. Confirmed. 2 beyond normal. One inside her upper cheek like a bud. The other in her hard palate, nearly flush, but there. Dentists said nothing. Or rather, she no longer trusted that they were saying what they meant. The receptionist had looked at her and mouthed something silently. May lip-read it back. It's almost ready. Bag number 16 appears. Label? Spoken entry / 35 of 33 reached. The bag is sealed with red thread. Inside, not teeth this time, but tongue scrapings. Dark, black-edged, fibrous. May nearly vomits. Folded into the lining is a message. If you say what you don't mean, we'll take it back. Her voice changes. That afternoon, she says thank you to a shop clerk. But the syllables are wrong. Flat. Split. Like 2 words laid over each other. The clerk hesitates. Then smiles too wide. You're from the freezer flat, right? May backs away. What did you say? It remembers you now. The hallway again, dreamscape. The hallway is longer now. The doors are not numbered. They're labeled with names. Kyle, Mira, Joe, May. Unreadable. She stops at hers. It no longer says May. It says Post Archive 35, open jaw, language ready. Behind it, whispers like chewing glass. She tries to starve the process. No talking. No chewing. No writing. Silence for 24 hours. She locks the freezer. Tapes the edges shut. Places every bag into a cooler and dumps it in a river. But that night, when she opens the bathroom cabinet, the Ziploc bags are there. Perfectly clean. Stacked. Labeled. Now including May's teeth final draft. The note from Joe. May finds a slip of paper under her pillow. The handwriting is identical to the freezer labels. You weren't the first. You're just the best mouth for what comes next. 35 is the limit. But 36 is the breach. Below it, a line scribbled in red. You don't need to speak the words. Just open wide. New reflexes. May catches herself chewing on the inside of her lip. Hard. Blood. She lets it fall to the floor. It beads, then sinks into the tile. Absorbed. The floor hums. Her freezer creaks. Inside, bag number 17. Label, speech replicant draft. Injection ready. She doesn't touch it, but she feels it, as if it's waiting for her to open her mouth and swallow. She records herself sleeping again. April 10th, 3:14 a.m. Video begins. May asleep. 1:37 in, she sits upright. Eyes closed. Mouth opens. A whisper. Not hers. Ready for next host. Bring 36. I can hold more. She opens her mouth wider than physically possible. The sound of teeth cracking. Then silence. Closing scene. April 10th, 2024. 3:14 a.m. May stands before the mirror. One tooth in her hand. One on her tongue. She doesn't know which is hers anymore. The mirror fogs. Not from her breath, but from inside the glass. A sentence forms. All of us fit. You just needed the mouth. May's body has reached its limit. But something else is trying to push further. The 36th tooth isn't just a mutation. It's an invitation. And it may not be from this world. April 11th, 2024. 7:02 a.m. Manchester, England. May Holloway didn't sleep. She didn't need to anymore. She felt full. Not fed, not nourished, just occupied. The human mouth wasn't built for 36 teeth. Yet her jaw had stretched without resistance. A hollow behind her last molar had torn open like a second socket. And in that socket, something now pulsed. Bag number 18 appears. The label was longer this time. Typed on printer paper. Scotch taped to the bag. Receiving tooth 36. Do not bite back. Language contained. Speech unstable. Inside one tooth. Amber-colored. Smooth. slightly translucent. It gave off a faint vibration. May placed it on the counter. It rolled on its own toward her. Her reflection lags again. In the bathroom mirror, May watches her mouth move. Only it doesn't match. The reflection's lips move faster. It smiles longer. It doesn't blink when she does. And when May backs away, her reflection leans in. Whispers silently, "Say it. Let me in." The language appears. May checks her notebook. Every page filled with glyphs. Curls, spirals, slash marks. She didn't write them. And yet, when she looks at them, she understands the meanings. A one mouth, many voices. A memory stored in enamel. 33 is storage. 34 is vessel. 35 is fusion. 36 is breach. Audio distortion. May records herself whispering the phrases. She plays them back. But the playback is in a different voice. Low, wet, genderless. Repeating the phrases with new words embedded. Breach me. Let the mouth forget the name. You will remember us. She checks the waveform. A frequency peak at 3.14 kilohertz. Medical emergency. May collapses in the kitchen. When she wakes up, she's in A&E. The nurse says, "You were found seizing. No ID on you." May reaches into her mouth. A tooth is gone. Not one of hers. One of the new ones. Replaced with a soft hole. Still pulsing. Bag number 19 arrives at the hospital. The nurse wheels in a food tray. On it, one plastic bag. Label, "Congratulations. You spat US out. Now we'll bite through." Inside a tongue. Not human. Forked. Tiny teeth running down the center. May screams. No one else sees it. She's discharged immediately. May tries to remove the 36th tooth. She finds it. Back jaw. Right side. Embedded deep. She uses pliers. Applies pressure. But her hands go numb. The reflection in the mirror grins. Blood spills down her neck. And from her own mouth. You can't unlearn the language once it's spoken. She blacks out. The whispering spreads. Her phone speaks without calls. She hears teeth clicking over radio static. The word mouth repeats on every ad. Even the pigeons in the alley make a wet, grinding sound when they coo. May locks herself in. But the freezer still opens. Inside, bag number 20. No label this time. Inside, nothing but a full dental mold of her jaw. But it's not hers. The shape is too wide. The rows too stacked. The 36th word. In her sleep, May mutters it. A word not in any language. Sharp on the tongue. Cuts her gums as she says it. She wakes with blood in her mouth. And a new sound in her head. Laughter. But it's all teeth. Closing scene. April 11th, 2024. 3:14 a.m. May opens her mouth in the mirror. 36 teeth gleam. The center one, translucent, begins to rotate. Not fall. Not shift. Spin. And deep in her skull, something old begins to stir. May has received the final tooth. But now her body is beginning to speak on its own. Each word opens new space for something older to push through. And what's coming wants to bite through the world itself. April 12th, 2024, 8:08 a.m., Manchester, England. May Holloway didn't remember speaking, but the voicemail existed. A message she'd left on a stranger's number, one she didn't recognize, hadn't dialed. "The teeth told me a word," she said. "I said it back. Now something else is listening." She hadn't spoken that message. Not while awake, but it was in her voice. Clear. Calm. Too calm. The freezer doesn't whir anymore. It pulses. May sits in the kitchen and listens to it beat like a second heart. Every 11 seconds, a faint vibration. Every 3:14 a.m., a slight hiss like breath held too long. Inside, bag number 21 has arrived. The label is blank, but taped to it is a mirror shard. When she looks into it, her mouth moves before her face does, and says a word she doesn't know how to spell. The word appears in her journal, scribbled in the margins. ... It hurts to read. When she stares at it too long, her teeth ache, not the new ones, the old ones. The roots strain like they're trying to recoil. Strange reactions from others. She speaks to the pharmacist. Just a greeting, "Hi." He freezes. Looks at her like he's remembering something horrible. Did you say that word on purpose? He asks. What word? He won't answer. He hands her the receipt. On the back, scribbled in pencil. Don't say it again. Not when the freezer is open. The language bites. May tests the word aloud at home. Only once. Shulker vath. A sound like cracking bone fills the kitchen. The window above the sink shatters from the inside. Her jaw tightens involuntarily. Blood runs from her ears. And the freezer door swings open on its own. Inside. Bag number 22. Label. Pronounced next host alerted. Mirror reversal. She films herself for 3 hours. In the footage, her reflection stops following her at the 2 hours 14 minutes and 9 seconds mark. For 12 seconds, it moves independently. It says something. May isolates the clip, boosts the sound. The reflection mouths. You are no longer the one watching. Her mouth begins to write. That night, she wakes up to find her hand covered in ink. A pen in one fist. Her teeth clenched. She's written on the walls. Dozens of lines. The tongue isn't the organ that speaks. The jaw is just the gate. They needed 36 to build the word that opens it all. And at the very bottom. You are the last mouth. Say it again. Online post appears. From an account she's never created, a blog post is published under her name. The sound the freezer made when I gave it a word. It describes things she's never written in terrifying detail. It ends with, if you're reading this, it's already crawling down your throat. A visit from a stranger. A woman knocks at her door. Older. Pale. Barely blinking. She says only this. I heard the word in a dream. Your freezer echoed it. May doesn't speak. The woman looks over her shoulder and says, you should really stop growing teeth you don't plan to use. Then leaves. Bag number 23 arrives. It's full of paper, not teeth. All of it covered in May's own handwriting. Phrases repeated again and again. Say it, say it, say it. But on the last page, something different. The word cuts back. May tries to remove the final tooth. She finds the 36th. It's not like the others. It rotates, clicks softly when her jaw moves. She tries pulling it out, but her reflection doesn't follow. Instead, her reflection leans forward and whispers, if you take it out, you'll forget your name. If you say it, it won't matter anymore. She drops the pliers. Closing scene, April 12, 2024, 3:14 a.m. May stands in front of the freezer. 36 teeth. One word. One freezer. She whispers. Shulker. Vath. The freezer gasps. Not opens. Not hums. Gasps. And deep inside, a sound of many mouths answering. Finally, May has spoken the word. The breach is no longer a possibility, it's underway. The freezer isn't a container. It's a portal. And the thing on the other side now knows her name and how to pronounce it. April 13th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. Manchester, England. It opened like a wound. No longer a hum, no click of seals releasing, just silence followed by a breath. A long, wet inhale from inside the freezer. May Holloway didn't move. She couldn't. Because as the cold air spilled into the room, it tasted like something familiar. Like the back of her throat during a fever. Like a word said too many times in her head until it stopped meaning anything and became something else. The door hangs wide. The light inside is dead. The walls are blackened with frost that shimmers faintly as though something beneath the ice is pulsing. May leans closer and hears it. Whispering. From inside. But not words this time. Laughter. Soft. Gentle. Like a mother calming a baby. But too many voices. Layered. Out of sync. The teeth are gone. All the bags? All 23. Empty. Not missing. Just used. The labels remain. But the Ziplocs are now filled with condensation and something that looks like thin saliva. Inside each, a print. Not fingerprints. Tongue prints. May's mouth is a map. She opens wide in the mirror. Her teeth are changing again. The enamel patterns, once smoothened, are becoming etched. Like carvings. Runes. Worn grooves forming across molars, canines, and even the new ones in her palate. When she bites down, the sound is hollow. Like biting a bone that isn't hers. The mirror is no longer a reflection. She speaks aloud. Who am I now? Her reflection answers. Not the last. Just the one who speaks. The door open. Bag number 24 appears. May finds it on her bed. Label. Host mouth ready, final phrase required. Inside, not teeth. Not paper. A single ear. Shriveled. Cold. But when she touches it, she hears a voice whisper behind her. Say it again. this time with hunger. The final phrase. May writes it in her notebook. It appears there before she even finishes thinking it. She doesn't know how she knows it, but when she whispers it aloud, something inside her clicks into place like a key turning in a hidden lock behind her teeth. Her body sways. Not from weakness. From agreement. The visitors. They don't knock. 3 of them. Not figures. Not people. Just shapes in the hallway outside her flat. Human outlines, but dripping. Wet. Breathless. Hollow. When she presses her ear to the door, she hears her own voice whisper. You open the freezer. Now we eat. She sees herself online. A live stream. May's face. Smiling. Wide. Speaking directly to the camera. Language is a disease. The freezer was the petri dish. Now we're contagious. She doesn't remember filming it. Thousands watching. The chat explodes with people repeating the phrase. The freezer grows. It no longer fits inside the appliance. The black frost expands up the wall, across the ceiling. Inside, May sees space. Not shelves. Not trays. A corridor. Pulsing. Lined with mirrors. And mouths. Bag number 25, the last label. It's pinned to her chest when she wakes up. Written on cracked enamel. You were never the host. You were the fridge. Closing scene, April 13th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. May stands before the fully open freezer. Inside, the corridor beckons. As she steps in barefoot, her 36th tooth falls from her mouth. It hits the ground, shatters, and behind her, the door closes itself. May steps through the breach. The truth about what the freezer has always been and who she has always been becoming is revealed. One final tooth remains to be swallowed, and the world beyond the fridge has been waiting for its voice to return. April 14th, 2024, a.m. Location unavailable. It wasn't cold on the other side. It should have been. Stepping into the freezer, May expected frost, darkness, dead air. Instead, the corridor was warm. Breathing. The walls pulsed not like a machine, but like a lung. Not steel or ice. Flesh. White and smooth and veined like inside a cheek. And it smelled like toothpaste, rot, and something far older, like a memory she never had. There are no shadows. The light came from beneath. A faint, colorless glow radiated from the floor, revealing shapes. Rows of jars, filled with floating teeth. Mouths embedded in the walls, muttering silently. Reflections with no bodies. One mouth near her whispered, "You were always chewing someone else's name." The mouth archive. A door appears or grows ahead. Etched into the frame. Archive 36, vocal vessel entry. Inside. A pedestal. A chair made of old dental x-rays. A final bag. May approaches. It's already labeled. The last tooth. She opens it. Nothing inside. Just air. But it smells like her. The tooth was her. She runs her tongue across her mouth. The 36th tooth is gone. But she never dropped it. Never pulled it. Never swallowed it. She was the tooth. The word. The breach. This wasn't about storage. This was about activation. The freezer spoke. All around her, mouths begin to murmur. They speak in chords. Layered names. Some she recognizes: Kyle, Mira, Joe. Others she doesn't, names in languages that feel scraped into her bones. They chant, "You wore us well. The world will now bite back." The fridge in every home. May sees them, visions like dreams inside teeth. Every house. Every kitchen. Every freezer. A whisper behind every bottle of ice, every TV dinner. Language stored. Memory chilled. Mouths ready. The freezer wasn't an object. It was a mouth in waiting. Her voice is not her own. May opens her mouth. The sound that comes out is not human. It's not sound. It's recognition. The air around her bends. The corridor responds. It opens, and thousands of mouths answer from beyond. Speech accepted. Birth granted. She wakes up. In her flat. In her bed. Sunlight. Birds. Warmth. Normal. Except, the freezer is missing. There's just a dark doorway in its place. And her voicemail is full. Every message is her voice. Say it. Say it. Say it. April 14th, 2024, 3:14 a.m. May walks outside. People stare. But not at her. At her smile. There are too many teeth. And one still rotating. The 36th. She whispers. The freezer was never empty. It was just waiting for me to thaw.